So where we're going to start with first is the garden trellis. And I mean, this is a difficult one because they're all so beautiful, these stamps. And this one's no exception. It's absolutely gorgeous. Come and take a look at all the different stamps that you're getting on here. You can see all of those lovely stamps. And these are a really nice size stamp as well. But this is where you're going to create your texture. You can already see just by mine, which I've been using them already. But these are so versatile, and you've got that amazing texture and dimension that you're going to be able to add to your creations, whether it be your cards, your gifts, whether it be scrapbook layouts, whether it be home decor, and much, much more. So we're going to get started. So first things first, I have got some stamping card ready. You're going to be able to use things like water coloured cardstock, lots of different types of cardstock out there that you're going to be able to use. But because I am using things like, I've got my translucent clear ink pad, I've got some opaque pigment ink pads here ready as well, and I've got some clear embossing powder. So this is where we're going to start to create a little bit of texture and a little bit of layer down of colour. First things first, I'm going to create myself a little bit of a background using the water reactive for blending and distressing, which is the Spring Meadow. And I'm just going to lay down a little bit of colour just around the edges of my cardstock. So I'm just going to pick all this up, and before we start stamping, I'm going to layer down a bit of colour. And I say a bit of colour, these are just beautiful, these colours. And I'm just going to go straight in there. Now, again, you can start to use all your ink pads to create lots of different effects for your backgrounds. You could do your faux bleaching in the background, layer down lots of different colours as well. I'm just going to start, though, with one colour, and then we're going to start to add the texture by using those layering stamps. So we'll just carry on getting all this colour down. This is when you can get really inky, though, and really start to have a nice play around with your inks that you have in your collection. And like I said, all of the ink pads work beautifully together as well. So they're called Harmony by Spectrum Noir because they all work in harmony with each other. So again, I'm just going to layer down this little bit of colour just around the edges. And then we're going to start now building up that texture and that layering. So again, I think I'm quite happy with that one because I've got a little plan for the middle and the centre of there. And again, we've got all these stamps now to be able to play around with. So with that, I'm going to bring in my stamping platform and stamping mat. So first things first, let's move that one out of the way. Bring in the mat. And then just start to have a little play building up texture. And I think I'm going to start firstly with this lovely, I would say a little trellis, but there's so many different ones on here. This is what I love about these. Really have a lot of fun with them and just create some backgrounds. So I've used my Spring Meadow. Let's grab, let's have a look. What colour can we go in with? We'll go with a quick dry one. We'll go with Grasshopper, and we'll use Grasshopper around the outside. And again, you're just going to play. You're going to play and build up your background, literally by a layering, texture upon texture. And you're going to use different stamps in this equation. And again, you can build up using embossing powders if you want to do. This is what I love about these. These are absolutely fabulous. So let's just come in and just start to layer this up. And again, I'm not being any precise. I'm literally just taking the stamp and giving a nice little decorated background there. So let's just carry on with that one. Quite happy with that one, so I'm just going to wipe my stamp down for a second. Let me grab a piece of tissue and just wipe off that excess. And then we'll start to layer up and build up your dimension with these stamps. So which one shall we go in with next? Oh, I think we'll have a little bit of this texture. This is a gorgeous one as well, so we'll pop that one down. The colour this time, so I've used Spring Meadow and I've used Grasshopper. I think I might go back in though with a bit of, let's have a look. Let's go in with a bit of Pine Tree for this one. So I'm going to layer down a little bit of Pine Tree. There we go. And we'll start to build up those textures and those layers. Oh, look. And this is what I love about these. These are absolutely fabulous, where you can start to really build up dimension on your project. So again, I'm not being precise. I'm just being nice and random, just building up those textures. And then we're going to start having a play with some different inks now. So we're going to move on with, let's have a think. We'll move on and we'll take that lovely floral piece on here. Lots of different ones on here as well, and even a sentiment as well. So you've got a lovely bit of trellis there, you've got a floral feature, lots of lovely foliage and flowers, and lots of different things that you can start to build up. And again, that sentiment that's on there. So I'm going to build now, and I'm going to use our pigment ink pad for this one, and I'm going to add a bit of texture with this, because I am going to use, with this being the opaque pigment, it's got that open drying time, which means I can add things like clear embossing powder onto this. So you can use your clear embossing powder to create a different kind of texture. So I'm going to add a few of those down, and I'm going to put a few down on there. So literally start to build up and have a play around. And I mean, we're not even finished, because we've got all those other stamps to be able to create this gorgeous background. So again, just pop that over the top, and I'll pop a few more on there, and then we'll add our clear embossing powder over the top as well. So again, not being random, have a play. And then I'm gonna, because this won't have dried straight away, I can now add, and I'll pop a little piece of cardstock underneath, and I'm just gonna add now some clear embossing powder. And then we're going to heat set this with a heat gun. So just pop that on there. Literally knock off the excess. And then we're going to pop that back in there before I got the heat gun, otherwise it's going to blow everywhere. And that's the last thing we want. So I just pop my top back on, pop this in, and then start to build up this texture. Now, I've got a little bit of excess, so what I'm just going to do is just blow, well, I'm literally taking this with a paintbrush just to knock off the excess bit of embossing powder. And I might give it a little, a Debbie blow there. So let's just set that off. And then we're going to heat set this. And then again, what this is just doing is creating some extra dimension and some extra texture over the top. And because we've used the pigment, opaque pigment ink pad, it means now I can heat set that with that lovely clear embossing powder. And again, it gives it another dimension. And of course, you could do this 2 or 3 times. You could add some more on there to add a little bit more texture, more enamelled look. But for now, I'm just going to go in with that one. Just want to show you the kind of things that you're going to be able to create with these. And again, just have a play with these stamps. That's what it's all about. It's about layering up lots of different texture onto your project. There we go. So I'm happy with all that. Oops, just seen a little bit there that I kind missed. There we go. Go back in there. And again, all that's done now is added a nice little bit of dimension. You can see that little lovely sheen on there as well. So let's go in with, we'll have a different colour this time. I think I might bring in, I'll just give this a little clean. And then I'm going to just take that off for a second. And I'm going to go in with this beautiful trellis floral as well. I'm going to build up some more. I'm going to wipe the stamping platform up a little bit. Just pop that on. And then, again, I think I'll go in, I'll go in with me opaque. I was just thinking I might use me quick dry for this one. But I'm quite happy to go in with that. Again, because I'm using opaque, it means I can actually add the clear embossing powder over the top. But what I'm just going to do now is add a little bit of a trellis going all the way around. So again, layering up your textured feature here, going across the whole of there. And again, it's just, I just love these stamp sets. Such fun, and in so many ways that you're going to be able to use them. Really love these. There we go. So we'll just pop that on the top. In fact, we'll go across there. We'll add a little bit of extra texture. We'll go across. And you can see by using all your ink pads, it just layers up more and more texture. But I'm going to continue to do that all the way around. So we'll go on. Let's go across there. And then I'm going to do the same down this side as well. Just pop that across. There we go. And we'll carry on until I've done that all the way around. It's adding like a little floral frame around the outside to this. And again, just keep on building that texture up. And then we're going to do the last bit there just by adding that on. And again, it's creating that dimension, which I absolutely love with these stamps. You're going to have so much fun playing with these. Lots of different ways in which you can use them. Lots of different inks that you can use in these as well. I'm quite happy with that up to now, so that's looking really lovely. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to bring in, because what I want to do is add in this onto a card, so I'm just going to move my stamping mat for the time being. Just pop that down there. And I'm just going to add a little bit of black onto there. It just makes that pop a little bit more. So I'm going to use, let's clean my glass mat up. So I'm just going to use some all-purpose glue. Just pop this down. That a nice little clear, because I can see some clear embossing powder on there. But again, just literally hold that down. I'm just going to smooth that down with a bit of tissue paper. Just write that on and get that into place. And then we can mat that onto a card front blank. So again, I'm just going to add that onto the top. In fact, let me grab, where's my tape pen? Let's grab the tape pen for this one. Let's pop that down. So I'll go back to my glue because my tape pen's run out there. So let's just pop that down. It always happens when I come in this studio, let me tell you. So we're going to pop that onto there and literally hold that into place. And then I'm just going to finish this off with a little extra detail. So I'm just going to hold that down, make sure it all stuck down. But what we've done is I've created, using some of our nesting dies, a little bit of a backdrop there. I'm going to add that with some foam pads. So I'll pop a couple of foam pads on there. Again, we're adding more texture just by lifting that off. And then what I've done with this is, I'm just going to pop that onto there, into the centre. What I've done is, using those beautiful floral stamps, I've actually stamped them using an alcohol-proof ink pad and coloured them in with the tri-blends. Again, just fussy cut, take your small snipper scissors and fussy cut these out, because these are stamps that you're going to be able to use to add these extra embellishments. And I've also done the same with these as well. So you can see I've got a couple of those that I'm going to lay down as well. All these are from this one stamp set. So you can see there I've got all these textured stamps that I can use to literally build up and create a little scene. So I'm just after some, want some 3D Kalal glue for this one. So let's just see if I can dig deep into my craft bag. And then we're going to just add this on. These really are good fun to be able to use and create and build, like I said, all your texture on here. And what I'm just doing is adding a little bit of a 3D element on this. And I'm going to actually use the sentiment that's on there, which is thanks. And again, it's just having that little play around. You've got this one stamp set here, and this is just one stamp set out of the whole lot that I've been able to create this beautiful card. And again, really vibrant. Use your ink pads, use your textures, use your different kind of ink pads. But these are the kind of things that you can do. You've just seen me do that in real time. Just make that from start to finish. And it took all of a few minutes to get together, but to create some really beautiful layering texture, which is what these stamps actually give you. They're such good fun. I know you're going to love them just as much as we do here at Crafters Companion.